In the early months of 2023, the serene city of Bellview, nestled on the northern fringes of Georgia, was shaken to its core by a series of chilling murders. These were not ordinary crimes. They bore a haunting resemblance to historical killings, long buried in the annals of the town's past. The most recent victim was a 30-year-old woman named Emily Thornton, discovered in her quaint suburban home, her demise a grotesque echo of a tragedy from decades ago. The Emily Thornton case was the epitome of a meticulously crafted crime, an enigma that could have easily remained unsolved. Despite immediate suspicion falling on a local historian, no concrete evidence linked him to the crime. As lead investigator James Hawke, a detective with years of experience and his own share of personal demons, delved into the case, he sensed this was more than just a murder. It was a story straight out of a crime thriller, deserving of a cinematic portrayal. But who was Emily Thornton? Born in November 1992, in the bustling heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Emily was the daughter of Jonathan Thornton, a well-known local historian, and Sarah Thornton, an artist of regional fame. Raised in an environment brimming with culture and intellectual pursuit, Emily was known for her sharp wit and compassionate nature. Excelling academically, she was the heart of her social circle, beloved by friends and revered by her parents, who spared no expense in providing her with a quality education and a life of comfort. The Thornton family, though not affluent, was regarded as well-to-do in their community. Jonathan Thornton, a respected figure in historical research, was passionate about preserving Bellevue's heritage. Sarah, equally dedicated to her art, often drew inspiration from the town's rich history. Despite their academic and cultural contributions, the family led a modest life, deeply ingrained in the fabric of Bellevue. After high school, Emily chose to study history at the University of Georgia, following in her father's footsteps. During her university years, her parents, after nearly 3 decades of marriage, underwent a peaceful divorce. Sarah moved to a quieter part of Georgia, while Emily chose to stay with Jonathan, sharing his passion for history. Even after the divorce, the Thornton family remained tightly knit, constantly in touch and supportive of each other's endeavors. Emily often visited her mother, sharing stories of her academic pursuits and her dreams of unraveling the mysteries of the past. Emily's striking intellect and her vibrant personality attracted many, but she yearned for a love as profound as the stories she studied. Her search for a kindred spirit led her to an online forum dedicated to history enthusiasts. It was here, one summer evening in 2022, that she stumbled upon a profile that piqued her interest. A fellow history buff with an enigmatic aura caught her attention. The profile belonged to Nathan Blackwood, a young man born in 1990 in Savannah, Georgia. After completing his studies in anthropology, he embarked on a career as a museum curator in his hometown. Emily was instantly captivated by Nathan's depth of knowledge and shared passion for history. Their online exchanges quickly turned into nightly phone calls, discussing everything from mundane daily occurrences to the intricacies of historical events. Their mutual admiration soon blossomed into affection, and they decided to meet in person. Choosing a halfway point between Bellevue and Savannah, their first meeting was nothing short of magical. Emily knew she had found someone who understood her like no other. Nathan, equally smitten, felt he had met his match in Emily. Their long-distance relationship flourished, but the physical distance between them remained a challenge. They savored their weekend getaways, finding solace in each other's company. However, each Sunday night ended with a bittersweet farewell as they returned to their respective cities. As 2023 dawned, Nathan proposed to Emily in a quaint, historic inn in Savannah, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. They planned a grand wedding, contemplating a ceremony in either Bellevue, with its rich history, or in Savannah, a city close to Nathan's heart. But tragedy struck. Just 2 months after their engagement, as wedding plans were underway and the joy of their impending union filled the air, Emily's life was cruelly snatched away. The news of her murder sent shockwaves through Bellevue, leaving her family, friends, and fiancé in a state of disbelief and grief. The question on everyone's mind was clear: who could have committed such a heinous act, and why? As the investigation unfolded, it became evident that this was no random act of violence. The killer had left behind a trail of cryptic clues, linking Emily's murder to historical crimes, a pattern that baffled and intrigued Detective Hawke. He knew he was not just hunting a murderer, he was chasing a shadow that lurked in the forgotten pages of Bellevue's history. The unraveling of the intricate web of murders in Bellview led Detective Hawke to a distressing call. It was from a local antique bookshop owner, who reported that an unusual, historical-to-made order placed by Emily Thornton had been delivered but remained uncollected. The bookshop owner, knowing Emily's enthusiasm for history, found her unresponsiveness alarming. Concerned, Detective Hawke reached out to Nathan Blackwood, Emily's fiancé. Nathan, too, had been trying to contact Emily since the morning, but to no avail. Her phone went unanswered, her messages unread. This was uncharacteristic of Emily, who was known for her prompt and enthusiastic communication, especially with Nathan. With a sense of foreboding, Nathan rushed to Emily's home. Her car was still parked in the driveway, a silent testament that she hadn't left. He used his key to enter, calling out for her, but was met with an eerie silence. The sight that greeted him was harrowing. Emily lay motionless near the entrance, in a pool of blood, her life extinguished. Nathan, in a state of shock, called the emergency services, but it was too late. The paramedics pronounced Emily dead at the scene. As the police arrived, a devastated Nathan, still reeling from the shock, told them he suspected who was behind this atrocious act, a sinister figure from Emily's past. To understand who would want to harm Emily, a beloved historian with a gentle soul, one had to delve into her past. Before meeting Nathan, Emily was romantically involved with Alexander Grafton, a wealthy and influential collector of historical artifacts. Their relationship began when Emily was still a student, mesmerized by Alexander's charm and his vast knowledge of history. However, Emily soon noticed unsettling traits in Alexander's behavior. He was possessive, often trying to dictate her social interactions and scrutinizing her every move. If Emily showed interest in another man, Alexander's jealousy manifested in ominous ways. Despite his controlling nature, Emily remained in the relationship, drawn by her fascination with his historical insights. Their relationship lasted several years, but Emily yearned for a normal life, a desire Alexander always dismissed. When she attempted to leave him, Alexander presented her with a ring, a symbol of commitment. Yet nothing changed. They continued their separate lives, meeting only on Alexander's terms. The turning point came when Emily discovered Alexander's duplicity. Upon visiting his residence unannounced, she encountered a woman claiming to be his legal wife. The revelation shattered Emily, and she decided to end the relationship for good. But Alexander was relentless. He followed her, pleaded for her return, and even threatened her. As Emily's relationship with Nathan blossomed, Alexander's obsession grew. He resorted to cyberstalking, hacking into Emily's accounts to learn about Nathan. He sent Nathan menacing messages, demanding he leave Emily. Despite the threats, Nathan stood by Emily, confident that Alexander wouldn't escalate beyond intimidation. But Emily's fears persisted. She convinced Nathan to install security cameras around their home and to report Alexander's harassment to the police. They obtained a restraining order, and Alexander was mandated to surrender his firearms. For a while, it seemed the danger had subsided. Returning to the crime scene, Detective Hawke noted the personal nature of the attack. The brutality indicated a crime fueled by hatred. Emily's body bore multiple injuries, consistent with a struggle. The murder weapon, a rare antique firearm, was not found at the scene. The precision of the shots and the absence of certain evidence suggested the killer was experienced and had carefully planned the murder. In the aftermath of the gruesome murder, suspicion initially fell on a neighbor of Emily. a war veteran known for his proficiency with firearms and a history of mental instability. Months before, he had confronted Emily, mistaking her for an intruder, which had resulted in his hospitalization for psychiatric evaluation. His intense animosity towards Emily, fueled by delusions, made him a potential suspect. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by multiple witnesses, redirecting the investigation back to Alexander Grafton. Despite Nathan's insistence and the circumstantial evidence pointing towards Alexander, the lack of physical evidence at the crime scene was baffling. The killer had meticulously erased all traces, leaving no fingerprints, shoe prints, or DNA. Even the hard drives from the security cameras, which could have provided crucial footage, were missing. Detective Hawke, determined to break the case, devised a plan. He asked Nathan to call Alexander, hoping to catch him off guard and elicit a confession or slip-up. Nathan, driven by grief and the desire for justice, agreed. The call, however, did not yield the expected results. Alexander remained calm and collected, offering only condolences, showing no signs of guilt or involvement. The investigation seemed to be at a standstill until an unexpected breakthrough came from Alexander's estranged wife, Diana Grafton. She contacted the police, claiming to have found a notebook in Alexander's study with a detailed plan of Emily's house and a step-by-step outline of the crime. This evidence revitalized the investigation. The police executed a search warrant on Alexander's residence. While the notebook's incriminating pages were initially missing, they were later discovered crumpled in a wastebasket. These pages, coupled with a hidden shell casing from the crime scene found in a cigar box in Alexander's study, became key pieces of evidence. The trial of Alexander Grafton was fraught with tension. Despite the absence of the murder weapon and direct physical evidence linking Alexander to the crime scene, the circumstantial evidence was compelling. Nathan and other witnesses testified about Alexander's obsessive behavior and threats. Alexander's defense attorneys attempted to discredit the evidence, suggesting it was mere fantasy and part of a vengeful plot by Nathan and Diana. However, the jury was swayed by the meticulous planning detailed in the notebook and the hidden shell casing. They found Alexander guilty of first-degree murder, sentencing him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the verdict was read, Alexander's gaze fixated on Nathan with an unsettling intensity, revealing a glimpse of the malice behind his composed facade. The verdict resonated throughout Bellview, sending a clear message that wealth and influence could not eclipse the gravity of such a heinous crime. Emily's memory was honored by the community, and Nathan, though devastated by his loss, found solace in the justice served. He continued to work alongside Detective Hawke, helping to unravel other historical mysteries, ensuring that Emily's passion for history lived on.
Thanks for exploring the chilling world of true crime with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell button for more mysteries and criminal insights. Stay alert, stay curious, and keep unraveling the mysteries. Until next time, take care.